Welcome back to Medrash Umaisa, sharing a story for this week's Parsha, Parshas Re'eh. The Tolna Rebbe spent time with one of the Gaboim of Aharon of Belz, the previous Belz Rebbe, and heard many wonderful stories from him. He shared the following. When Aharon of Belz arrived in Eretz Yisrael and eventually settled in Tel Aviv, there was a neighbor, an elderly Moroccan woman, who heard that there's a tzaddik who came to the neighborhood and she saw people going to him. So she asked one of the Gaboim, how can I see him? She said, I want to see the tzaddik. So they transmitted the request to Rabbi, and he said, certainly, just that the Gabbai should also be there. And so it was. When the woman came in, so Rabbi was sitting with his head down, which he would do often, and he asked her politely where she's from, and she said Morocco, and he said that that was a country of many tzaddikim. But then she said, Tarima tarosh, pick up your head, ani bati lerot otcha, I came to see you. And the Rebbe didn't quite understand what she wanted. The Gabbai explained in Yiddish that she said she came to see him, she wants to see him, and she can't see him unless he picks up his head. The Rebbe very slowly picked up his head, and she looked at him, and she said, why? Eze yofi. How beautiful. This was her appreciation. This was what she came to son. This is what she was able to sense. I saw in the Sefer Likutei Yehuda, which I really just pulled off the shelf here in my travels in Toronto a few minutes ago, the description that the Imre Emes brought of a chassid of his great-grandfather, the Imre Emes, great-great-grandfather, who stood outside, the Chidushei Ha'Rim, and he stood outside his room and was looking at the Chidushei Ha'Rim. When the Chidushei Ha'Rim asked him, what are you doing? So the Chassid explained that one of the Perushim in this week's Parsha, brought by the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh on the words Re'eh Anochi, is that Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Bnei Yisrael to see him, to look at Moshe Rabbeinu in order to access the bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to give. He says, this shows me that the idea of looking at a tzaddik brings bracha. So the Rebbe explained to him, he said, in the Novi Yeshaya, it says, Va'amich kulam tzaddikim. Your nation, the nation of Am Yisrael, are all tzaddikim. He says, better that you should look inside yourself. There's a lot to that message. First of all, the idea of looking at tzaddikim, seeing things we should know, the idea of face, the Hebrew word for face, panim, is not something which implies the external, most superficial level as it does in English, one will say on the face of the matter. It's the word for internal, pnim, internal. So by looking at someone's face, Rav Hutner Zatzal said that the face is the place where the or with an aleph, meaning light, breaks through the or with an ayin, which is the skin. You can't tell anything about a person's soul and character just by looking at their elbow, but on the face you can. But we also have to learn that it's not just something you get by looking at a famous tzaddik. Sometimes people look for shortcuts by doing something like that. We have to develop the tzaddik within you, to see the fact that there's a tzaddik inside of you, and to look at that and connect with that internal truth that's inside of you. And then that is also, and certainly, a true source of bracha. Wishing everyone a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos Kol Tov.